And it's wonderful to see such a big crowd here today. 120 countries you represent, and you represent 22 different industries. And if anything, what I want to kick this off by is really thanking you for allowing us to be on this journey with you together. If I think about it, it's been a journey. Every one of you would answer it the same way about digital reinvention. And forever, those of you that were here last year, as I said, data is the basis of competitive advantage. And in this, if you call it first phase of what we've done together, I think you'd characterize it by digital, AI, lots of experimentation, and lots of customer-facing apps. And really that's what's been driving the cloud. I think this chapter 2 of digital and AI is about scaling now and embedding it everywhere in your business. I think this chapter 2, when it comes to the cloud, is hybrid. And this chapter 2 is driven by mission-critical apps now moving. But underpinning it for all of us is a chapter 2 in trust. And that's going to be about responsible stewardship.
Hey y'all, it's Dan Cusel, and I am here on the Tuesday of Think. I'm here at what's called the Business Exchange, and this is where a lot of the client senior executives, about 300 or so, get together and they spend time interacting with one another and figuring out what's going on and sharing industry ideas and tricks and different things like that have helped them in the cognitive and AI space.
We now believe that the combination of technologies like AI, like automation, like blockchain, like 5G, all coming together to have an impact at scale are going to change everything again. And what that's going to do is going to create something we're now calling the cognitive enterprise. And many organizations start to think about, could we play on a bigger field? And some even thought, well, with all of this new technology, I can move into completely different and adjacent areas, like Ford moving into mobility, Marriott looking at how they can become an entertainment company. So what we think about here is this very, very powerful idea. But all of this has actually manifested itself in chapter 1, as Ginny would say, in a series of experiments. We've been experimenting around what we can do around digital. She called them a number of random acts of digital. We've been doing random acts of cognitive and AI as well. And really what we start to think about with this business platform idea is building on what we heard from those CEOs, is that the business platform starts to be how you organize what could be the chaos of this world. How you start to bring together these points of technology to have an impact at scale and actually have a transformative effect on the companies that we all work for.
And so I think in terms of the pendulum swings every decade, centralized for efficiency, decentralized for innovation. And a lot of people look at cloud as a big evolution, but that really was just a move back to centralization for efficiency. And now all of those data centers are in the wrong place for this new world. We're going highly distributed, and that'll take another decade to completely unfold. But AI becomes super powerful when you can make local decisions while the cloud over here is making some macro decisions for you. You can execute in a real-time network. And it's the most exciting technology I've seen or been part of in my 35-year career.
enterprise. And I want to spend the next few moments talking about what we think that cognitive enterprise could look like. About a year ago, we brought together 100 CEOs from across our IBM client base, and we asked them what big bets were they placing as they looked out over this sea of opportunity and challenge around technology. What was interesting was how many of them talked about the fact the big bet they were placing was in creating a new business platform to compete. Some of them talked about that being a platform that was inside the four walls of their organization. They wanted to compete even better in the supply chain, even better in customer service than they do right now within their own four walls. Others talked about the fact that they thought they were so good at a particular area, whether it was claims processing for insurance or something else, they could take on a role as an industry platform. And many organizations start to think about, could we play on a bigger field? And some even thought, well, with all of this new technology, I can move into completely different and adjacent areas, like Ford moving into mobility, Marriott looking at how they can become an entertainment company. So what we think about here is this very, very powerful idea. And as we, in fact, surveyed these CEOs over the course of the past year in our latest C-suite survey, it was interesting to see how many of them are also beginning to switch really major amounts of their capital and their investment towards the build-out of these new strategic platforms. But what is actually driving this, and how can these platforms start to be configured? We think about this as the way of the coming together of the outside in of that ongoing journey of becoming more and more digital, connected to doing now inside out, still incumbent. How many of what they can do with the disruptors do with their data themselves, and they can be the disruptors in this new world. So incumbents strike back. And they strike back by leveraging the inside-out transformation that you can now drive from data, leveraging that with AI, automation, blockchain, etc. But all of this has actually manifested itself in chapter 1, as Ginny would say, in a series of experiments. We've been experimenting around what we can do around digital. She called them a number of random acts of digital. Well, we've been doing random acts of cognitive and AI as well. And really what we start to think about with this business platform idea is building on what we heard from those CEOs, is that the business platform starts to be how you organize what could be the chaos of this world, how you start to bring together these points of technology to have an impact at scale and actually have a transformative effect on the companies that we all work for. Now, it's fair to say that the word platform is quite widely used. I suspect you've heard it a few times as you've been in various sessions